welcome into the Sideline Sports Show, episode number 20 on this lovely Friday Eve.
What was that? Whoa.
Lovely. Lovely Friday.
We're going across the pond now?
Yeah. Hey, look. When you talk about bowling, which we'll do here in a minute.
We should talk the whole show like that. Yeah.
The rest of the show, we will talk like this right here.
Talk just like this. Talk like this. Coastal Carolina. I don't even know how to say it.
Coastal Carolina.
Coastal Carolina. Yeah, I can't do as good as you can, but I feel like we should torture, especially Cody, who's already trying to roll away.
Welcome into the show, guys. There we go. We get our first Roll Tide of the show already, and it's not even.
I'm just gonna start calling
a minute and 50
Bama
seconds
Cody
into the show. I mean, just impressive.
I'm just gonna start calling him Bama Cody. That's it.
Bama Cody. I'm honestly not shocked his middle name is not like Tide or something, because his middle name starts with a T.
It's T.
So
he's never actually told me what that is. So that very well could be it.
So I'm just saying it could be. So, but not to get into names and all that stuff. Welcome into the Sideline Sports Show. Look, it's another jam-packed show today. Let's go ahead and I want to talk about something we've never talked about on the show today, Tim. And when I texted Tim this earlier today, he was just kind of thrown off because, I don't think we've ever talked about this before. We're going to talk about bowling, Tim. All right,
hope you got your bowling
shoes. About bowling. All right, and here's what I mean. We're talking about college football bowl games, so it's not like actual bowling.
Yeah,
but it threw Tim off for a minute.
I was like, does he know something about bowling that I don't? I was like, I know perfect games 300. I know that. I know that. You could possibly have 3 rolls in the 10 frame. I believe I learned this from Wii bowling that 3 strikes in a row is a touchdown.
Look at that. Look. He's pulling out technical terms that he learned as a child from Wii bowling. Wii bowling.
Yeah, there you go. Right. Apparently, when you roll it backwards, they all go woo, and then you jump up in the air. You remember that?
I do remember that.
Cody, can you stop talking about Bama for 2 seconds? Goodness gracious, man.
Oh, man. All right.
Got 3 comments in there. No need to show them all if you don't want to, man.
I mean, I think Alabama's mentioned in almost every single one except one, so it's okay. All right. Well, we're going to enjoy this because I think this is going to be a lot of fun, but my list just kind of disappeared for a second, and now I got to find it. All right, here we go. All right.
Stand by.
All of the incredible picks that we're about to make of these bowl games and fun we will make of these bowl games is presented by our great friends over at Section 103. Look, if you don't order your Christmas gift this week, it won't be here in time. Who knows? It may not even be here in time. I ordered a lovely Felice Bobby Dodd Christmas sweater, okay, from Section 103 using my 10% off code Sideline. That's what you should do too. Go to section103.com. Look, that's all you got to do. Is just go over there, get your comfy Christmas sweater, and literally, I think it ships out tomorrow. Or today. Yeah, tomorrow. So just go ahead, go get your Christmas sweater before the holidays start. And if you have an ugly Christmas sweater contest, that's probably it because, no offense, but Georgia Tech didn't even make a bowl game. So we're not even going to mention that.
They got halfway there.
They got halfway there for the 3rd season in a row. All right. All right.
Isn't there like a toilet bowl that they could play in or something? I'm looking at these bowl games. Is there no Sherman toilet bowl?
I think they I'm trying to
if there is, they could have definitely played in that one because how fitting.
Yeah, I guess.
Sorry, Ben, I'm just roasting.
I don't know who they would play though, so unfortunately.
Probably Urban Myer.
True. Hey, at least they can make field goals. All right, let's get to some of these picks. Let's start off with the Bahamas Bowl. The Bahamas. All right, Middle Tennessee and Toledo. Look, I don't know much about these teams. Okay, so.
I mean, if you want to sign me up to go watch that game in person, I'm down.
Yeah, for real. I mean, in the Bahamas.
Go to the Bahamas.
Yeah, you get to go to the Bahamas, Tim. But we would literally have to get on a plane right now. So I don't think that's possible because
true.
it starts tomorrow at 12. So at least I have something to watch at work tomorrow on my last day of work before the holidays. So you know what?
Right.
Give me Toledo for the fun of it. I know a lot more about Toledo than I do about Middle Tennessee.
I love how you said that, though. I love how you said that. You're just like, give me Toledo. Even though it was like, you're like, you know what, I'm going to go on a limb and say Toledo. It's like, well, Ben, they are a 10-point favorite.
Well, look at that. I didn't know that. I have no favorites. I have no lines. I just have bowl games.
No,
So,
all right, fair enough.
No lines.
Yeah. I mean, for that knowledge, I mean.
Take the bias out of it, Tim.
Right. You know, I don't
Even though Vegas
know much about Middle Tennessee State, with the exception of the fact I know that they have one of the top, I think, one of two universities in the entire Southeast or something that's got like aerodynamic space program or something. I know that because a buddy of mine went and did this thing. He tried to tell me about it, and I'm
okay. I was like, oh wow, Tim just got all this knowledge. Look at that.
No, I knew that. It's like I just randomly knew that. No, but that's the only thing I know about him. So, and I have a buddy of mine, Rob Brown on ESPN Upstate, tells me all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, Vegas usually does something like this, and they have a line like that. They probably know something that's going to happen that you do not. So you do not bet against Vegas all that much. So, and usually I'm like, forget that. I don't care. I'm doing my own way. But this time I'm actually going to have to agree.
Well, I mean, Vegas was wrong about the Georgia-Alabama game. So we have one thing about
Well, to be fair, I think majority of people, Cody, please do not go off in the comment section. I know you're going to send like 7 text messages in a row. Yes, we were all wrong about Alabama.
Yes.
Whatever. We were wrong.
Vegas was wrong too.
So. They'll get them in a possible rematch.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to try my best to say these bowl games. The Boca Raton Bowl. I guess that's the
Boca
best
Raton. You were close.
Yeah, I was close. All right. Western Kentucky at App State. I actually skipped one, but we'll go back to it in a minute. Give me App State. Western Kentucky's actually looked good this year. But App State, they came, if I'm correct, they won the Sun Belt, right? I thought they did.
I'm checking. But buffering, the internet's going up. But yeah.
They played.
They did not. They lost to Louisiana 24-16.
That's right, because that was Billy Napier's last game, and I thought he wasn't going to be back. But they still look good in that game. You know what? I'm going to change my pick. I'm going to go Western Kentucky. They've looked good this year.
I was really hoping we would disagree there, man. You know why we were gonna go
Hilltop
Western Kentucky. I like Chase Bryce. I mean, he's thrown for over 3,000 yards, 23 touchdowns, 10 picks. But let me read you. I got to figure out how to pronounce his name. Bailey Zappe. Zappe. I don't know how to exactly pronounce that, but check out these numbers, Ben. 442 of 639 for 5,545 yards. You remember when Joe Burrow had that single season touchdown record of like 60 in a season?
Yeah, he's got like 52.
56 touchdowns to 11 picks. 56 touchdowns. Woo! I mean, I don't know if he's going to light up App State like he's been lighting up teams all year, but I mean,
this would be fun.
Those kind of numbers, that does tell me one thing though, Ben.
What?
That means if you have those kind of numbers and your team's 8-5, your defense is probably trash.
Yeah.
And I think I've actually done it. I think I've actually talked myself out of it, Ben. I think I'm going to flip the App State just because I look at those numbers. Those are insane numbers.
Yeah.
If you're 8-5 and when your quarterback's producing those kind of numbers, that tells me all I need to know about your defense, man. So I'm going to go Mountaineers actually in this one.
I'm about to figure out if he's a senior because if he's not, let's see. Yeah, he's a senior. I was about to say if this dude's not a senior, he's transferring. He's going somewhere else. All right. Let's see. The one I skipped, Northern Illinois and Coastal Carolina playing in the Cure Bowl.
You can't leave out the Mullets, man. Come on.
The Mullets.
Yeah, the Mullets, bro. I mean, Coastal Carolina, had high expectations. They lost 2 games this year. Grayson McCall had an okay season, 2,500 yards, 23
He was
touchdowns.
injured a little bit too. So
he was injured a little bit. Only 3 picks this year. So overall, he took very good care of the football, but they just didn't really air it out as much. And Northern Illinois took down your Yellow Jackets very early in the season. So, what's the line in this game? I'm leaning toward Coastal
Vegas
Carolina.
says Coastal Carolina.
Coastal Carolina -11 tomorrow night. I'm going to have to go coastal on this one, man. I think Grayson McCall
I agree.
gets the job done tomorrow.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm going to go Coastal Carolina. All right, Western Carolina App State plays on Saturday, so we're going to continue with that list on Saturday. UTEP at Fresno State in the New Mexico Bowl. We'll go quick with these no-name bowls, really. Give me UTEP. They were actually JK, because I forgot. Fresno State's quarterback came back out of the transfer portal to stay at Fresno State. So you know what? Give me Fresno State. I thought he was going to leave, and if he was going to leave, he wasn't going to be there for the bowl game. But since he's coming back, he'll be there for the bowl game. Give me Fresno.
Yeah, I'll go Fresno here too.
Okay. The Independence Bowl, UAB and BYU. I feel like this is a little bit more easier to pick. I'm going to go BYU.
Yeah, UAB has done some good things. They're definitely a mid-major program, not even the right term, like a non-group of 5 team that usually kind of is very, very dangerous. But BYU, man, I mean, you might as well call them the Pac-12 champions this year after what
pretty much
to the Pac-12 this year, man. I mean, it's hard to go against them. I mean, the line in this one's BYU basically by a touchdown. But, and I think they'll be too much for UAB.
Yeah. All right, the Lending Tree Bowl, Eastern Michigan and Liberty. Look, I don't know much about Eastern Michigan, but I know a little bit more about Liberty. Give me Liberty in this one. And the line's 9.5, but I think they could cover that.
Malik Willis, you want to talk about someone that had a very disappointing campaign?
Yeah, that's true.
The dude was talked about being one of the top picks in the draft. Now all of a sudden they go 7-5. He goes to Ole Miss, throws 4 picks. I mean, draft stock goes boom, just like that. I mean, kind of showing that he's more so a guy that
human
human, and he was going up against some inferior opponents. So
I agree.
Just that they've struggled this year, and he's obviously the leading passer with 2,600 yards, and he's also had 820 yards on the ground to lead the team there too. So if he can contribute that, I think that they will come away with a victory in this one. So give me Liberty.
This is an interesting one because I think this is the first ever Jimmy Kimmel, LA Bowl.
I mean, talk about a flex. I mean,
you on your own late night show, and you know what? You can just flex and get your own bowl game now. Utah State and Oregon State. Utah State has actually been a really good team out of the Mountain West Conference this year. So give me Utah State in what I think is the upset because I have Oregon State favored.
Yeah, this one is a tough one. Oregon State at 7-5, Utah State at 10-3. Bonner, their quarterback, 36 touchdowns, 11 picks this year. He's played really well. They're going to lean on their rushing game as well. Tyler Jr. six touchdowns, over 700 yards rushing. Oregon State, I'm not really seeing a lot of offensive lines. They're definitely their leading rusher. BJ Baylor, dude's got some serious numbers: 1,259 yards, 13 touchdowns. They're going to have to lean on him. If they can get him going, and he has a big game, Oregon State should win this one. And that's what I think will happen. So I'm going to go with the Beavers.
All right, like I said, I'm going Utah State. New Orleans Bowl, Louisiana and Marshall facing off each other. Billy Napier will not be in this game, supposedly. But that's what we said about the conference championship too. Marshall for this year being their first year head coach. I forgot his name off the top of my head, but just they've done pretty decent considering what they did last year. I think they went I think they only lost 2 games last year. So for them to go 7-5 this year under a new head coach, been pretty remarkable. But you still look at Louisiana; they got a really good tight knit group. A lot of seniors on that squad too. So I'm going to go Louisiana in this one. The Raging Cajuns.
Yeah, I know Billy Napier is departed and he's gone to Florida, but I really think this team's strong. I mean, they lost week 1 to Texas. To be honest with you, if they'd have played Texas later in the year, I think they might have had a chance to beat them, to be honest with you. Just because Texas early on was looking pretty good. Then they blew that 20-something point lead to Oklahoma there, and it kind of fell downhill. I mean, you would know something about that, Ben, being a Falcons fan. So, Sorry,
and we beat the Panthers. So
okay, and we beat you earlier. But anyway, but yeah, I think it'll impact a little bit. But I think that the players are still there. They're definitely going to have to lean a lot on the running game. Only 19 passing touchdowns from their QB1 this year. So definitely going to have to lean on the ground, and I think that they'll do that, and I think they'll take care of business against Marshall. I think Marshall will make a game for a little while, but I think the Raging Cajuns get it done.
All right, on Monday, the Myrtle Beach Bowl, which will be good. Marty Smith and Marty McGee get to host that one. Old Dominion and Tulsa. Just give me Tulsa because I don't know much about it.
I'm going to go Old Dominion just because I don't like Tulsa, just because of the fact that they lost to an FCS team and then almost beat a Oklahoma State. So I don't. You're very inconsistent to me.
You flip a coin. I mean, really, you don't know what team you're going to get out of these guys. So
no idea.
So hopefully it's the best version for me. Hopefully. All right, on Tuesday, the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. Kent State, Wyoming. I know. Oh, so famous. Kent State actually this year kind of is a team that overperformed that no one really talked about. Quarterback didn't really have a good season for neither team, by the way, if you look. But, I mean, the rushing offense for Kent State has just been phenomenal. You just look at Cooper's numbers, 217 carries for over 1,000 yards and 11 touchdowns. That's over average for a Kent State football team. Give me Kent State.
Man, I was looking at Wyoming. I was like, I think I'm going to pick Wyoming until I looked at the quarterback's numbers.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
You have more picks than touchdowns, we got a problem.
Yeah. How are you still the quarterback? That's the
6
question.
touchdowns, 7 picks, only 1,100 yards passing.
Yeah.
I mean, the leading rusher for Kent State has more rushing yards than Wyoming. Everything about this game says Kent State should win, but yet ESPN's matchup predictor has 59% in favor of Wyoming. It doesn't make sense, Ben, but you know what? Bowl season never makes sense.
Yeah, that's true.
Give me Wyoming.
That's true.
Give me Wyoming.
Right. The Tropical Smoothie Cafe Frisco Bowl. All right. The UTSA and San Diego State.
You're not going to get away with that. You're not going to. You know what? Can you say that bowl?
The Frisco.
Can you roll the R?
Frisco. That's the best I can do.
I can't roll the R, but that wasn't bad.
UTSA, San Diego State. This is actually probably a really underrated bowl game match.
This really is.
UTSA, they're 12-1, and then you got San Diego State 11-2. Former Georgia Tech quarterback Lucas Johnson over here just transfers over to San Diego State, makes them look good. I don't know how that works.
If you look at his numbers, they ain't that great. I mean,
yeah, they're not that great, but I mean, still.
At least he's in a bowl game. So,
but I'll tell you, meep, and I think the Roadrunners win. So, give me UTSA.
Yeah, UTSA. The Roadrunners, led by senior Frank Harris. Dude, 25 touchdowns, 5 picks, almost 3,000 yards passing on the year. Man. They've had a great year. Who was their one? They're 12-1. Their lone loss.
Their one loss was like
North Texas. The final week of the regular season. So
North Texas, yeah.
So San Diego State usually shows up very well in these type of bowl games. But, man, the Roadrunners have had a really great year, and I think Frank Harris and company go out on a great note. So give me the Roadrunners at UTSA.
All right, Wednesday, the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl between Missouri and Army. Look, Army made me so disappointed last week when I watched them against Navy. I mean, really, it was – but I'm going to tell you now, based off what I saw from Missouri this year, Missouri ain't going to do much better than Navy did. But if Army plays the way that they did against Navy last week, it could very well go in Missouri's favor. I mean, it's a coin toss. Go ahead.
Sorry, but here's the thing. Navy runs the triple option, so they see in practice all the time.
Yeah.
Missouri doesn't see that. I guarantee you. So, honestly, I think this thing could get ugly, to be honest with you. I'm sure, Army's actually favoring this one by 4. But
by 4.
Yeah, I'd take Army to win by multiple. Give me by 10, man. I think Army beats Missouri by 10, and it may even be worse than that. I mean, the Army, way they run that triple option, man, Missouri better score on their drives when they have it because they're not going to have it for long.
Yeah. Look, from somebody that watched the triple option for over a decade, let me tell you, if you don't practice in the beginning of the season for it, you ain't going to be ready by the time it comes for you later in the year. Like Mark Richt would always say, he would practice in summer practices and spring practice the triple option because he knew he would have to face Paul Johnson at the end of every single season. And Missouri hadn't practiced for that. There ain't no way. Give me Army, and that's the only reason I'm picking Army. Let me just tell you that. So Navy's defense is a lot better than Missouri, just being honest. All right, Thursday, the Frisco Football Classic. Here we go again with the Frisco. The Frisco. North Texas and Miami, not Florida, Ohio. Tim, I'll let you go first on this one.
I'm going to go North Texas just because they're green and I like green. They have green in their name.
All right.
And then they also beat the Roadrunners UTSA and they're a only loss. So I guess if you want a football reason, there you go. But
I'm going to go.
I mean, you wanted to pick a winner. I mean, that's the reason I'm going with them, just because they're green. I like green. I mean, you come here for high football knowledge, but sometimes you just got to go like that. And sometimes, especially when you do these type of things like this or in March Madness, sometimes when you operate like that's when you're right. So
yeah, sure. I'm going to go with Miami, Ohio. Brett Gabbert threw for over almost 2,500 passing yards, 24 touchdowns, and only 6 interceptions. You look at the other quarterback from North Texas, he has 9 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. So I'm just looking if it ever comes down to the point where Miami, Ohio's down, at least they can throw the football. And they have their leading receiver already has over 1,200 yards. So I'm just saying I'm going to go with Miami, Ohio. All right. The Mortgage
Gasparilla.
Yeah, bowl. Rich really is the bowl of the state of Florida to see who reigns over the state of Florida. UCF and Florida face off each other. Look, I'm going to be honest. Dylan Gabriel is not in this game. So
he's gone to UCLA.
He's gone to UCLA. So a whole new quarterback, whole new offense almost pretty much for this UCF team. I'm going to be honest, Tim. I'm kind of leaning towards Florida a little bit, and I'm going to go Florida.
I'm going UCF, man. I got to agree with it because Florida doesn't care, man. I mean, Emory Jones is gone in the portal. I just don't think Florida's going to care, man. I mean, they got Billy Napier coming, and obviously he's not going to coach the bowl game. But I just don't think they're going to care enough. And honestly, that seems to be a big-time problem with SEC teams when they're not in the playoff. They don't care. They're not really. They're just not
Good
there.
point.
They don't
Good
show
point.
up. And I mean, and you can't just skip over it. But you also you got to take into account. But I mean, hey, if you lose, you lose. But I mean, you wish these SEC teams take it more seriously because it just means more, right? It's supposed to.
Just means more.
Apparently, it doesn't all the time. So, I think UCF comes up in this one, and I think they win.
Well, this is the Easy Post Hawaii Bowl, and how can you have the Hawaii Bowl without Hawaii and Memphis? So, you can't have it without Hawaii. So it's more of a home game for the Rainbow Warriors. Yeah, it's a home game for the Rainbow. Yeah, it's a home game for the Rainbow Warriors.
But yet somehow Memphis is favored by a touchdown.
I know. You know what? Give me the Rainbow Warriors. They're being counted out at their home field. They take home field advantage and they win in Hawaii. And they don't have to fly far to go back home.
And Hawaii's quarterback's last name's Cordero. Well, I grew up with one of my neighbors I grew up with. His last name's Cordero. We didn't always get along. So, but you know what? I think if we got along enough to be good friends, so that reason I'm going to go with Hawaii. So
okay, interesting. All right,
this game went a little story time.
Yeah, a little story time. All right, on Christmas Day, I hate this that they got to play on Christmas Day. This doesn't make sense. I'm not going to watch this. Tax Act Camilla Bowl with Georgia State, Ball State. Just because I'm in the state of Georgia, I'm going to go Georgia State. I mean, really, that's truly.
I mean, to be honest with you, the fact that they have ball in their name, I think they're a bunch of ballers. So I'm going to go Ball State.
Oh my God!
My dad.
Great job. All right, these are actually the names of bowls I can pronounce. Finally, all right, here we go. So the Quick Lane Bowl, Western Michigan and Nevada. Nevada actually played really good this year, believe it or not. Their quarterback has 36 touchdowns. Damn, 36.
You think he can transfer to Clemson? We need to.
A guy that can pass the ball. Hey, look, y'all got a 5-star recruit that comes in.
We do.
So
we do. The Cade Kluber.
There's the positive. Yeah.
So, and Western Michigan's logo is a knockoff of the Washington football team's logo. I mean,
pretty much. Hey, but they had it first. So kudos to them.
True.
But they had to change it after they rode the boat PJ Fleck out of there. So, I mean, I'm just saying. I'm going to go Nevada on that one. All right, the Military Bowl, Boston College and East Carolina, excuse me. Give me Boston College.
Yeah, same.
Phil Dracovic is probably the only reason I'm making this pick.
Yeah, same. Vegas likes BC by a field goal. Like you said, I love Dracovic. I think he's going to be a really good quarterback, and I think he's going to create problems next year in the ACC Atlantic Division, barring whether or not he can stay healthy and if they have a good recruiting class coming in. So I just don't think East Carolina is strong enough. So if East Carolina in this game is going to have to rely on their run game. Mitchell and Najee are two guys that are backfield that can be good. And if they're good, then East Carolina's good. If not, it's going to be a long day for them.
Yeah. All right, the Birmingham Bowl. This is a team that doesn't have to go far. Auburn and Houston. Yeah, Auburn doesn't have to go far at all. It's literally like I feel like it's 20 miles down the road. Like you don't have to really. It's not far. It really. I've made trips to Fort Walton Beach, Florida, and I have to go through Auburn and I have to go through Birmingham. So it ain't that far. So give me. I'm still going to go Houston. Houston's a really good team. I mean, they put up a fight against Cincinnati. And if Cincinnati is supposedly one of the top 4 teams in the country, I think they can beat Auburn, especially – and Bo Nate's out. But if TJ Finley's still on in like one leg, then I think they'll be able to take care of business. So give me Houston.
While Auburn is basically playing in their backyard, I don't know if Auburn fans are really going to care as much. I think they'll still travel, but I don't think they'll be like that significant of a home advantage. But I don't know. I think Auburn does win this one. I do. I think it'll be close though. Like 24-21 type deal, but I think it'll be close.
Yeah. All right, Air Force and Louisville in the First Responders Bowl.
I'm going to set the over-under rushing yards at 500.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I mean, Link Cunningham, the Air Force triple option. I mean, if you like running the football, this is the game for you.
Yeah, pretty much. Because Air Force is not a passing team. They're not. They can't pass the football.
Their
quarterback. They are now. They used to be pro style.
I'm pretty sure that they're a triple option team.
Okay, well that explains their quarterback's numbers. But I'm gonna go Louisville. I don't feel like Air Force really played anybody up to Louisville's. I'm trying to see. Played San Diego State close, but that's still not a team that's significant. I don't even know. Close to Louisville. I don't know why I can't say words today. So, give me Louisville.
Yeah,
significant.
It's just kind of one of those things where it's like, is Louisville going to be able to stop that triple option at all?
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know if they can. I got a coworker of mine that rocks Air Force stuff every other day, it feels like. So I will do him proud with this one. I think Air Force wins. They're actually very high-scoring game. I think Link Cunningham's going to have a lot of yards on the ground. But I think Air Force is just going to outscore them just a little bit more. So give me Air Force about, say, 35-31.
All right. AutoZone Liberty Bowl, Mississippi State and Texas Tech. Give me Mike Leach.
Same. Give me Mike Leach. I think just because of him, they win this game.
Because look, if they're down, they're going to pass the ball. If they're up, they're going to pass the ball. If they're even significantly close in this game, they're going to pass the ball. And so it doesn't matter. They're going to pass the football all game long. And hopefully he'll beat his former alma mater in Texas Tech, because that's where he used to coach. So who knows? There's maybe a little bit of rivalry there. All right. UCLA, NC State, in the Credit Union Holiday Bowl. Let's see. You know what? Is Leary playing in this game? I know he's been injured a couple times this year. If he's playing, I'm going to take NC State.
You do have to kind of take into effect if it's a lot further travel for NC State, but I'm with you. If Leary in this game, I mean, 35 touchdowns, 5 picks on the year. Dude's been playing really well. It's been a really good season for them. They didn't quite win the ACC Atlantic. This was the year to do it, but they had their upset win over Clemson very early on in the year. Very solid year for NC State, and I think they're only going to get better next year. So this would be definitely a building block game for them. And UCLA does have a lot of questions left. Like, is Chip Kelly leaving, staying? I know he's not going to Oregon, but I mean, I don't know. It just seems like he was very willing and open to going to Oregon. So you do have some questions there. And their quarterback, Thompson, he's going to have to compete with Gabriel now, who's going to be transferring to UCF. So how's that going to work?
If he stays.
Yeah, if he decides to stay, because in today's age with the transfer portal, you could be here today and gone tomorrow. So
pretty much.
Who knows? So, but I think that's going to be too much for UCLA to overcome. So give me the Wolfpack.
The guaranteed rate bowl. It's West Virginia and Minnesota.
Only thing right here is guaranteed is Ben's horrible accent.
Yes. So row the boat. Give me Minnesota. They were. I think they're an under. I think those were that was a team that I projected high hopes for, and they didn't meet the expectation. So
I guess you can definitely say that they're definitely guaranteed to let you down every year. So
that's why they're in the guaranteed rate bowl.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, some of these coaches may need to look at their guaranteed rate on their contracts. So, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, Minnesota's favored by 4, and I think they'll be too strong for West Virginia. So,
all right, the Wasabi Fenway Bowl, Tim.
Ooh.
Wasabi. SMU and Virginia.
Wow.
Yeah, I know that. To me, when I think of Wasabi, I don't think of Fenway Park. I just don't.
Well, me too. It's about the same color as the green wall out there. So,
yeah, true. SMU and Virginia. SMU is actually a good team. I'm going to go SMU. And I don't think Tony Elliott's going to be coaching.
No,
I don't even think Bronco Mendenhall will be coaching that game either.
I think he stepped down effective immediately, so they'll have an interim. But SMU's had a really good offense this year. Virginia, is Armstrong playing for Virginia? I know he's been battling with the rib injury since.
From what I've been told, I think he's playing. But I mean, you look at the other quarterback's number. I can't say his last name, but
Mordecai.
Yeah, okay. Dude's been balling. Like, no one is even talking about him. 39 passing touchdowns, 12 interceptions, over 3,600 passing yards. Balled out all year. So
this is going to be a battle of the quarterbacks. I mean, Armstrong himself was thrown for, get this, 4,444 yards. So
on the dot.
On the dot right there. 31 touchdowns, 10 picks. So not shabby from him either. So this is going to be a fun matchup. I think we could definitely get some early action, especially this game's at 11 a.m. on the 29th.
Early on Wednesday, December the 29th. Early.
Imagine being in L.A. on the West Coast right now and waking up at 8 a.m. and there's a football game on. Then again, they have football games on at 10 a.m. on every Sunday. So
yeah,
I like the Mustangs in this one. Virginia just I don't know if they're going to be able to handle Bronco Mendenhall. We don't even know why he stepped down. I mean, unless you know, Ben, but I don't really know why he just stepped down. That was very sudden, and I don't think they're going to be in the right state of mind for this game. So give me the Mustangs.
All right, the New Era Pinstripe Bowl, Maryland and Virginia Tech. I'm only going to pick Virginia Tech because I know one player on Virginia Tech. So go Malachi Thomas and go Virginia Tech. So that's literally the only reason I'm picking them.
Man,
really and truly, to be honest.
I think I like Tagovailoa, Tua's brother, Talia. I believe that's how you say his name. I like him. This game, New York Pinstripe, was that Yankee? Yeah, it's a Yankee Stadium.
Yankee Stadium.
I think I'm going to go with the Terps. I think I'm going to go with Maryland. I think Tagovailoa, who, by the way, is outpounced Burmeister by like doubled.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to have a strong passing game. As long as he doesn't lose them the game, I think they'll have enough to beat the Hokies. So,
all right, Tim, here we go. The Cheez-It Bowl, Clemson, and the Cyclones of Iowa State. So
I don't understand how Iowa State's a 1.5 point favorite in this game. I mean, they're 7-5. That they were big time letdowns this year. They were preseason top 10, maybe even like top 6, I think.
Yeah.
They had high expectations coming into the year.
Both teams
live up to it.
Yeah.
Finished with a 7-5 record. And I know Clemson looked awful majority of the year, but somehow, some way they got to 9 wins. Somehow, some way they managed to get the 9 wins. They righted the ship the last 2 weeks against Wake Forest. They figured out, hey, DJ ain't it. Our wide receivers are all hurt, and a couple of them are now transferred.
Yeah.
We lost one of our running backs to the transfer portal, Lynn Dixon, early in the year. You know what? We've got Kobe Pace, Will Shipley. Let's run the ball. And here we go. I mean, and finally figured it out. I mean, ran all over Wake Forest and South Carolina. I mean, DJ, of course, had his clunkers against those 2 games. Played okay against Wake Forest. Only had 99 yards passing against South Carolina. But it seems like they finally figured it out. That this team needed to be running the ball. It only took them, 10 games to figure that out?
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, it's about time. But I think they'll have enough to beat Iowa State in this game. Brock Purdy, Breece Hall, still 2 very legit offensive threats. But I think Clemson's defense is going to be good enough. I think Clemson just shows that in bowl games they care, and they care more than the other team. So I think Clemson wins this game. So going away, I think they'll win by about 10%.
I'm going to actually agree with you, Tim, and I'll tell you why. I don't think it's all the other stuff. I think it's this. Clemson, they lost their 2 biggest coordinators that they've had, Brent Venables, Tony Elliott, that they've had in their program for years and years. But what they decided to do is they went and hired from within. So I don't think it affects their team as much as it would if you had to bring another guy in to replace one of those guys. They hired from within. They already had them on their staff, kind of like what Nick Saban's done in the past forever decade that he's been at Alabama. And I think it will pay off. And I think Clemson's going to win this game. And I think you're going to see how Clemson's offense will look a little bit more in the years to come. All right. The Alamo Bowl of Oregon and Oklahoma.
You're talking about 2 dysfunctional teams right now.
Yeah.
Oregon, who got curb stomped twice by Utah. I mean, they had hopes after beating Ohio State going into the playoffs. Now here they are in the Alamo Bowl. I mean, and then Oklahoma, who's lost both their top 2 quarterbacks. Their head coach bolted for USC. I mean, they lost their tight end. I mean, they've lost guys. I mean, they lost so many decommits. Excuse me, they lost a lot of commitments. It'd be interesting to see. I mean, I love the hire Brent Venables. So I think they're going to be okay and then get back to kind of being more defensive, which is what the Big 12 somehow, some way is getting back to. But in terms of this game, this is almost who can piece together enough players. Oregon's lost their starting running back to a season-ending injury, so about middle of the season. Obviously, Oklahoma's going to be without their QBs. I mean, who the heck are they going to throw out there?
Yeah.
I think this will be the game in which whoever has more pieces wins, and I think that's going to be Oregon at the end of the day. So this game will be a clunker. I mean, it'll be interesting to tune in to see what these teams look like, but it's
going to be bad. It's going to be bad. I don't think Caleb Williams has announced he's leaving Oklahoma.
I'm pretty sure he said he was going to the transfer portal.
I don't know. I don't think I never saw a true official letter or anything like that. I heard rumors that he was more than likely going to go into the transfer portal, but there was never, I don't think, a full on post that says, yeah, I'm entering the transfer portal from Caleb Williams. And if that's the case, I'm going to go Oklahoma. Because they still looked good under Caleb Williams. And I think that he'll fit very well with Brent Venables if he stays. If not, then it is what it is. But I'm just going to stick with my gut. I'm going to go Oklahoma on that one. All right. This is interesting because this guy said that he would take a Duke Mayo bath if he won the bowl game, and that is Mac Brown's North Carolina versus Shane Beamer's South Carolina. It's the Battle of the Carolinas, Tim, in Charlotte.
Well, sorry, I'm like stun locked right now because I'm picturing him taking a bath in mayo.
Yes.
And to me, it's like Mermaid Man going to scrubbing himself with mayo in the bath.
No,
I mean, that's what I'm picturing right now, and I can't get it out of my head.
No,
that's not something I needed to know.
Instead of a Gatorade bath, Tim, it's going to be like mayo, like Duke mayo, mayonnaise.
Oh man, it's gonna smell like eggs on the bus, bro. Jeez. Oh
man.
Don't get me wrong. I love Duke's mayo. I mean, Duke's mayo is basically generated in my backyard here in Greenville, South Carolina.
That's true.
So, but I mean, oh man, I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't want to do that.
Hey, he said it. He said it on the ACC network. So
yeah, I think Sam Howell's going to have a lot to prove in this game. We'll try to validate himself as a first-round pick. Will he be able to do it? I don't know. Yeah, I think he's going to have a good game, though. This South Carolina defense, it depends. Are you going to get a team that showed up against Auburn and these other teams, or are you going to get the team that showed up against Clemson and couldn't stop anybody? So,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't think North Carolina's played very well at times. I mean, they were a preseason top 10 team. People forget that. They were like number 9, and then they finished 6-6. And Mac Brown's like, we were basically given our title. We didn't earn it. And we showed that.
It was horrible. Right. It was a horrible year.
He was right. Definitely a loss to a 3-9 for Georgia Tech team. I mean, this losses like that. I mean, they just did not look good at all this year. So, but I think South Carolina's defense and their offense aren't going to show up enough. And I think North Carolina is going to win this game about 24-17.
Well, also talk about the upside of South Carolina right now. I mean, they are –
they got Rattler and they got the tight end. So.
With how their program is looking right now. There's a lot of ups to look at for South Carolina. And I think right now, if you're South Carolina and you want to win a game to really prove how big of an upside you have, this is it. I mean, really, this is truly that game. Because you lost this game, I think, if I'm correct, it was 2 years ago. They opened the season in Charlotte, North Carolina against UNC, and they lost that game in a heartbreaker. I mean, it was like, I think it was 24-21, I think was the final score. And I think if this is a game where South Carolina wants to come out and prove who they will be over in the SEC East for the next couple of years, this is the game. And I think that they're going to upset North Carolina in this one. And I hate to say that because one of my NIL athletes is a UNC Tar Heel. So I hate to do it. But I'm going with my gut feeling. I feel like South Carolina is going to have a good game, and I think they're going to win against UNC. So, all right, 2 more. Hold on. Yeah, 2 more. Tennessee and Purdue. We'll pick the rest of them on the show to follow on our last show of the year. Tennessee and Purdue in the Music City Bowl. Tennessee won't have to go far.
No, they won't. They will not have to go far from Knoxville to Nashville.
Yeah.
But Purdue had a solid win this year. They knocked off Michigan State when they were number 3 in the country.
Yeah.
Didn't do so great against the Buckeyes, but I mean, they're just kind of that team that when they're at home against a giant, they'll knock them off. But overall, 8-4 this year. Tennessee's also looked very good, very much so improved from previous years. I actually like Tennessee in this one. I think their offense is going to be too much for the Boilermakers. So give me the Volunteers.
You know what? I said this because my brother-in-law is a huge Tennessee fan. And you know what? In honor of my brother-in-law, Levi Galloway, give me Tennessee at home. I think it'll feel like a home game for Tennessee. I really do. Oh, yeah. It's in Nashville. It'll be a home game for them. There's no point. I mean, there's really no point for Purdue fans. Sorry. And I've been in that stadium. It's a really nice stadium over there in Nashville. Wisconsin and Arizona State in the Las Vegas Bowl. This is the last one we're picking. You know what? I'm going to go ASU. I'm going to go Arizona State in the upset.
I'll go Wisconsin just because I like their ground game. I think they'll have a strong ground presence, or they're going to have to in order to win this one. So I'm going to go Badgers.
Okay. All right. Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a very, 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 very short break. When we come back, we'll talk about the Urban Myer situation, and then that will wrap up today's show. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Welcome back into the Sideline Sports Show. Ben and Tim with you. Ben, there was kind of something that happened in the middle of the night last night. Were you asleep, or were you able to kind of catch the big news that Urban Myer was fired from Jacksonville?
Look, I'm telling you, there's ghosts moving over here. Look, my little curtain fell. I think he's trying to.
I saw something. I didn't know if there was one of your coworkers or something was over there kind of messing with you.
No, it literally just fell, and who knows? Urban Myers, we're talking about him. He's probably just trying to figure out a way to mess up our show. But look, here's the thing. I think this was coming for a very, very long time. I think the moment was just kind of like, when's it gonna happen? Right. And with I think the news kind of circulating this week of the kicker making his story of how he got kicked in a warm-up by Urban Myer, and things that Urban Myer said to him, things Urban Myer has done this year. I think there was already kind of question marks after the whole incident where he was at a bar in Ohio at the beginning of the year. He had to sit out a game, and I think that just kind of was a snowball effect where it was just kind of like building up in the front office, and they're like, hey, like at the end of the year, we're going to fire you. And then after a bunch of just fans basically said, hey, we're done with this, they were like, yeah, we're done. Like, we can't take it anymore. And they just kicked him out. And I think this is a good thing for Jacksonville because of the fact of, look, you got a lot of young talent on this roster. I mean, a lot of young talent. And I think they could be a lot better than what they are because they got a really great quarterback, which could be a franchise quarterback, just not developed yet. You have great running back room, an incredible running back room with James Robinson, Travis Etienne when he comes back, Carlos Hyde. I mean, a lot of great guys in that running back room. A couple of decent receivers. It's not that bad. It's really not. And then the defense is also very young. So, I mean, there's a lot of young talent on this team. You just have to find a guy that's willing to care about these players and help them develop a little bit more. And I think this team could be a really good team. But you got to find the right guy. I mean, it can't be from college. We've seen college coaches kind of come from the college to the NFL and it never work out. I mean, look at the prime, basically greatest of all time coach in college football. He went over to the NFL, didn't work out, and you see where he is now. So, and Nick Saban. So I'm just saying, like, I don't think a lot of college coaches fit very well in the NFL scheme. And I heard it, Dan Orlowski said this today, and I loved what he said. He said, or it could have been Pat McAfee. I'm not sure which one, but it was one of the two. And they said, look, the difference between going in and being a coach in college and being a coach in the NFL is you have so much control over your players in college because you got to make sure you schedule their practices. You schedule what time they need to go to their classes. You know what time they need to be at workout. You know what time they have to be ready for the game. You know, you can control all of that. But when you get into the NFL, the control over players is you really don't have much. You don't have much control as you would because all they got to do is show up, really.
That's all they're doing. All they're doing is football.
Exactly. It's not just about classes. It's not just about grades. It's just not about all this other stuff that you got to worry about. It's just strictly football. It becomes an ultimate business at this point. And if you want to keep your guys a part of your business, you got to be the head man and not take too much control, but you got to say, look, like this this is something that we got to sit down and go, hey, this has got to become a priority for you. Because guys could just go and miss practice and yet still get paid. I mean, look at Ben Simmons right now. He's sitting at home collecting checks every single week, and he's not playing a single minute in basketball. And that's the same way it is in the NFL. I mean, really, if you don't take control over your guys and let your guys enjoy the environment that they're in, they don't care. They're not going to go out there and play for you. They're not. And that's just the way the NFL works. It's a business. So,
and I'm hoping
I don't think he was good at that.
I'm really hoping to change things because the effort they showed out there, man. I mean, the two receivers running into one another last week against the Titans. I mean, the Titans defense is okay, but it's not good enough to shut you out. And so that was inexcusable. I
agree with that.
This whole thing with Urban Myer, man, just don't be a jerk. Don't be a jerk. It's okay to be a football guy, but especially in today's age, like some of these famous coaches that you had, like Bill Parcells, Jimmy Johnson. I don't know if these guys would have made it in today's game because guys don't respond to guys like that anymore.
Yeah,
they don't. They do not respond to them whatsoever. They're like the guys that are like, I'm your coach. You have to do what I say. Respect. You have to respect me just because I'm your coach. People don't do that anymore, right? Our age group just does not do that anymore. We're like, we're not just going to give you respect just because of your title. We're going to give you respect because you earn it, not because you are the head coach. And you're like, I'm the head coach. We don't care. You want to be a part of our lives and you want to actually get to know us, then that's when we respect. And you step into our lives. We're not just going to give you respect just because of your name. We're going to give you respect based on how you treat people, your wisdom, and everything that you know. And especially in football, if you can win football games.
Yeah.
And just don't be a jackleg. That's all you got to do.
The thing is,
Urban Myer violated everything, especially all these reports coming out about it.
Yeah. And I think the thing is speaking from a former athlete standpoint, from a high school athlete, I know what my favorite coaches were always those guys that cared about you as a person first. They didn't care about you as a player. They didn't care about you as the great and mighty so-and-so. Like you're the top quarterback that came out of college. You're the top running back. It didn't matter. He cared about you as a person first. And then he helped you get better. They helped you progress and grow on how to make your game better. And ultimately, all of those things, if you do all of those things correctly, it helps build a winning program no matter where you go. It doesn't matter if it's college. It doesn't matter if it's NFL. It doesn't matter what sport it is. I think if you take those two things right there and apply it to a job in coaching, I think you're going to have a successful program because your guys love you and they're going to have your back no matter what, but you're also helping them grow, not just as players, but as young men or women, and no matter what sport it is. So, and I don't think Urban Myer did that. I think Urban Myer was there and there was a lot of pressure on him coming in, and he said, you know what, I'm going to handle this like a boss in a normal job force like way, where he's like, I don't care what you say to me. I'm the boss. I tell you what goes. And as you can tell, it did not work out. And that's what happened in Jacksonville. Pretty much. I mean, really, that's exactly what happened.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Just stuff like that. And hopefully it'll be the last time we hear from Urban Myer. I mean, I'm sure that dude's probably going to try to take a job again in college football somewhere.
Yeah.
I think he just needs to be done. I think it's not a good look to take him right now at all.
Yeah, it's not.
It's like it'd be damaged goods at this point. I mean, the dude's got to get his personal life together first, man. I mean, him grinding on him, allowing that woman to grind on him early this year, bad look. Hey, by the way, you're married. It's a
really, really bad look.
I mean, it's like, dude, what are you doing? And it's just all this type of stuff. And Shad Khan, the owner for the Jaguars, said best. Like, look, he's going to have to earn our trust back after that. And he basically, in his press release last night, said he never did that. In fact, it got worse. He's like, so it's definitely time for us to part ways. And I think hopefully that is the end of Urban Myer, because I mean his scandal at Ohio State that basically caused him to leave. Health issues, people air quote him on that, and just all the other things that were off the field, and kind of got him and his AD in trouble. You remember that scandal at Ohio State?
I remember that,
where he was suspended for about a month or so.
And then it's like you said, he blamed it on health reasons, and I was like, come on, man, like.
Dude, take some accountability.
We're all smarter than that. Like, And I'm not trying to be mean in any way, form, or fashion. Just I'm speaking truth. So I mean, it is what it is. So all right, before we go, let's talk about this playoff situation because look, it's insane. I mean, it's absolutely insane right now for everybody, and to even say that the Falcons still have a chance to make the playoff is remarkable. It's unbelievable. All right,
somehow the Panthers, I believe, still have a chance.
Mathematically,
they still do.
Mathematically, but I mean, that's like saying that the only
in the
team
world of reality, they don't.
Look, the only team that's eliminated in the NFC is the Detroit Lions, which should be automatically.
And they just got eliminated.
Yeah, and they just got eliminated. So
eliminated. Oh man.
I'm just saying. All right. I'm looking at this and I'm just being honest. I think that New England is the more I watch them play, the more I believe that they can run for a Super Bowl title. Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, especially the way that Bill Belichick is able to win in many different ways. The other night, they showed that against the Bills on Monday Night Football the other week. Winds were blowing 30 miles an hour. You know what? It's like, you know what? You know what we're going to do? We're going to run the football. And Mac Jones, you're going to throw it 3 times. You're going to complete it twice. That's all you're going to do. And we're going to go in there. We're going to win that game. But they also shown that if they need Mac Jones to throw the ball, he's more capable of doing that. So he could arguably have one of the greatest rookie seasons that you could see, not statistically wise, but even though those are turning into the point where they're actually very good. But the fact of the matter is, I mean, the number 1 seed and potential Super Bowl candidate. And I look forward to hopefully we get a Tampa Bay and New England
that would be lovely.
So
that would be lovely.
And hopefully live up to the hype and better game than what we got last year. Because Goat versus Baby Goat didn't live up to the hype. So.
Yeah, definitely not. And I really think that would be a better matchup for the NFL because I think a lot of people are I feel like a lot of people are hoping that matchup happens. Like, I really do. Speaking to a lot of different people, I think people really want to see that rivalry kind of renew between Tom Brady and the Patriots. And with a Patriots team that's doing good right now, I think that would be a really good matchup. So, and especially with a lot of people not thinking that they would make it this far. So, all right. Well, that's all the time that we have for today's show. But before we go, we got to show our graphic. All right. You can go ahead and follow us on any of our social media platforms, Sideline Sports Show, for Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. You can go ahead and do all of that. It's the @Sideline Sports Show. And then if you're Twitter and you don't want to give us enough characters, it's fine. We'll still find a way. It's Sideline SP Show. And go to our TikTok because Tim right now has the most viewed TikTok out of the both of us. With 620 views, Tim. Congratulations, dude.
I did that?
Yeah, you did that. And all he did, all he did was he put the score of his Leeds United being destroyed by Man City. So
with the
hello darkness, my old friend. Yeah. Yes. And it was fantastic. Or I've not put this on the graphic, but if you want to listen to our podcast, go do that too. If you're watching and you just want to go listen to the podcast, go to Apple, go to Spotify. It's all right there, and you can listen to the podcast wherever you go. If you're like my dad and he likes the podcast version of it. So I guess he just doesn't like to see my face. He sees it enough. So
I don't think that's mine either.
But if you're in podcast, come watch the show on Thursday night. So, all right, that's all the time we have for today. We are taking next week off for you guys to enjoy Christmas. So have a happy holidays and Merry Christmas, and we will see you guys in 2 weeks, and we will talk about the college football playoffs. Have a great Christmas, and we will see you guys later.